We all have that best version of ourselves hidden on the inside of us. The type of version that lives out our best life or portrays us best. However, once you've lived long enough, you'll know that you're not going to magically transform into her, or automatically for that matter. In fact, if anything, it's going to take a fight. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how living out your best life begins by becoming your best version. My name is Shandre Mangera, the founder of Brave, and your host and coach for today. I used to think that I would magically or automatically, for that matter, grow into the woman I always envisioned myself to be. But the truth is that I was nowhere near that woman. You see, that ideal woman, the girl that I once was, the woman I dreamed of becoming, now that I'm here, seems so far-fetched, right? And although she was so bright, and although she had so much glamour, although she had so much purpose and so much vision, and although I just knew that she was going to be me, now that I'm here in my life, now that I'm at this stage in my life, becoming her is not that automatic. You see, I realized that it's not a magical transition or transformation. And although I still envision her, although I still see her so clearly, I now know that it's going to take a fight of my life, from one life to the next. I once heard a profound statement, a statement from somebody I dearly admire. She said that I love the woman I've become because I fought to become her. Wow. Let's just pause and say that again. I love the woman I've become because I fought to become her. I stood still in my shoes, still in my tracks when I heard that statement. I mean, what did she mean? Fighting to become her? I knew nothing about fighting to become the woman I always dreamed of being. And where do I begin? My life was so chaotic as it was. Now, if you don't know, I'm a mom to three beautiful kids, three tiny tots. So my life is chaos on its own, right? I've got a husband and life is busy. Life gets busy. And with all of that, how did I fit in? Where did I have the time for myself? I just couldn't imagine making myself a priority or fighting for myself for that matter. But I was wrong. I was wrong because I placed myself last. In fact, in fact, I was nowhere on the list. And so when I realized that, I understood that things needed to change. And today, I want to encourage you to change, to stop in your tracks, and to realize that in order to live your best life, it begins by becoming your best version. It's not going to happen overnight. No, I repeat, it's not going to happen overnight. In fact, it's a journey of many, many, many failed attempts. It's a journey of failing forward. And so, in order to become that best self, you're going to have to go through a transitioning, a process where you're going to be failing forward. And so, for me, It had a lot to do with changing old habits into new habits, changing embedded thinking patterns, changing my programming, changing my influence, changing my environment, changing who I was speaking to, listening to, and who I was paying attention to. And when I realized that a lot of who I was had to do with who I was paying attention to or what I was paying attention to, I realized that all I needed to do in order to change the trajectory of my life is to refocus my lens, is to refocus my attention on the things that mattered or on the things that aligned with the path of who I was becoming or who I wanted to become, the person I envisioned myself to be. And so the fight really came in me becoming intentional, me becoming deliberate about that other self, right? My best self, my best version. It had to do with me questioning or really asking myself if she, that best version of me, if she was more important to me in giving birth to her, if she was more important to me, and not only whether she was important, but whether I was prepared to die to the woman I was. And as as difficult as that is, the fact of the matter is that once you get a glimpse of the life you're supposed to live, the life God had prepared for you, the life that was set out for you before the foundations of this earth. Once you get a glimpse of that perfect life that is such a perfect fit for who you are, the life that you've grown close to doesn't seem to fit anymore or doesn't seem to make you happy anymore. And so this was the place I found myself in. You see, I was in a corporate position and I found myself waking up miserable, without purpose, without passion. I found myself just doing whatever life served me, right? And I'd wake up and I could literally go through my day blindfolded and I would still go through my day successfully. And this was not the day, this was not the life I had envisioned for myself. Right? I knew what set my life alight. I knew what I was passionate about. And but it required me becoming intentional about that. It required me becoming so focused on the things that mattered that it meant pushing other things out of the way if I had to. It meant me being deliberate about what really mattered. And so, my tip for you today is that through all of this, and as overwhelming as it may seem, becoming your best version is necessary. I want to repeat that it is not just a foreign idea or something that is meant to be imaginary. No, it is necessary for you to become who you are meant to be. And that best version is inside of you, waiting to be given birth, waiting to be set alight, to come out for that matter. And that requires you to become intentional, to become so focused on living out that best self. And the way I got to do that, and the way I still get to do that every day, is that I wake up, is that in fact, even before I wake up, I go to bed preparing to wake up as a, right? And what I mean by that is that I don't just go to bed to sleep and to wake up to an alarm clock and get my day running. No, 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 no. I wake up with the intention that today I'm going to live out my best self. And by living out my best self, I needed to have prepared my day. And so, yes, I've got kids, and yes, I've got a husband, and yes, I've got life, and yes, I've got to do work, I've got to do things, I've got to do these things that matter. I mean, I've got bills to pay, I've got a household to upkeep, I've got kids to take care of, I've got a husband that I need to take care of. But amidst all of that, I'm still important. And so it required me becoming intentional about me. So waking up earlier had to become a priority. Spending time, goal setting had to become a priority. Spending time with my maker had to become a priority. Me knowing what the direction of my day is had to begin with starting my morning right? And so I want to encourage you in all of this that you're not just going to wake up and become that best version. No. In fact, it's going to take you living out your life in chunk sizes. I mean, that really helped me. And I just want to focus on that just for a moment. Living out my life in chunk sizes required me to live in the moment. And so when I found myself in a challenging situation, I had to bring it down to the moment, because in the moment I was able to say no to a bad habit, but yes to something good. In the moment, I was able to change my focus to something better. In the moment, I could say no to a bad eating habit and yes to something healthier. But even when I failed in that moment, I had the next moment to try again. And like I said before, that this journey of transitioning into becoming that best self is not an overnight thing. No, it's a journey of many failed attempts of becoming your best version. But the difference between becoming that person and remaining who you are is about your will to keep getting up every day, again and again, and trying it all over again and becoming becoming that person, right? And so I want to encourage you today to know that you are important, you are enough, and it is necessary for you to live out that best life, for you to live out your best version. It has to do with you investing in yourself, prioritizing yourself, changing your mindset, transforming your thinking, changing your influence, your circle, becoming so intentional, so focus driven, living life so momentarily that you don't miss the things that matter and you matter. And so I really hope that today you could, if anything, just take from this what that you are important and that your best life is possible, that you can live out your best life. But it's not just going to happen. It requires you changing, transforming into your best version. And although we've grown accustomed to living out our life or living, certain moments that bring us joy, or grown accustomed to living out our best life in moments or in certain occasions, like, we look forward to certain things that happen in our life. That is not what I'm referring to. I'm saying that you can wake up and be that person. You can wake up and live out that best life. Have your best job, have your best career going for you, have your best version going for you. You can be that. Eventually, that was once something you only aspired to be will eventually become such a habit that you don't even have to think about being her anymore. That in fact you just wake up and you are her. And so I want to finish this video by saying that you can love the woman you are becoming if you are prepared to fight for her. And so I want to encourage you today to wake up with purpose, to wake up with intention, to wake up with a passion for life, and to wake up living out your best life by becoming your best self. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to doing this again with you. Bye.